So, here, not working. Okay, there we go. All right. So my argument earlier, this is the second part of it. It was that that there's a ratio that comes up in every triangle on its height, and it's not talked about, but it's an important ratio because it transfers over. It's a ratio that is always there and is always found. So let's find it here in the equilateral, which we have it right now, and see how that goes. All right. So let's see, is that ratio in here as well? It is because it's in every triangle. I already proved it earlier, but we're going to show it anyways. This should be a third, this should be 1/6, and this should be a half. There you go. This app is glitching a little. All right, so here we have it. Prove it again. The ratio is there. We don't give it a name, but it's a ratio that is extremely important, has to do with the balance point and the midpoint of that shape, of that triangle. All right, so we have it. It's broken into a third, 1/6, and a half. Now, my other part of the argument was that the square did not transfer that ratio into its diagonal. All right, so for that, I need to create an equilateral inside here and then see how that holds. But first, before we do that, let's find phi. Let's find phi inside this equilateral's height with the square, just to prove it again that this is not the right way to find phi. All right, we got the square. Find the midpoint. All right, and here you can see that it does not line up with this important ratio, that it's golden, that is everywhere, that is in every shape. Okay, so it doesn't line up. Now let's try it again with the equilateral triangle. The way I'm saying that phi should be derived from. It should be derived from the equilateral triangle. By the way, we have an equilateral triangle and we have an equilateral that encloses that triangle, and it's called a hemidigon. This is something people don't talk about, but it's a 12 orthogonal rectangle. It's one of them, just like the square, but this one has different properties. All right, so here we go. I'm going to throw a line segment from here to here, and we're going to verify if the equilateral triangle in fact translates this this ratio that I found all over the place, like to its diagonal and to higher dimensions or higher shapes created. All right, so let's measure. This right here should be already a third. This is what the square did not do. All right, so is this a third? Let's see. It is a third, and this should be 2/3. It is 2/3, 40/60. All right, so here we go. We'll move this out of the way. So as you can see, the equilateral triangle does transfers the ratio that is found inside every triangle. Now, is that the golden ratio? It should be. It should be the golden ratio because it's a ratio that is inherent in the nature of the geometry. It's not a ratio that I'm making up like we did with phi and we gave it this value that is slightly higher. The point of that is like it's important. It's there. It's always present. So why does it have a different value? That's a deeper meaning, and I'm not trying to get that far. But I'm trying to get as far as showing how the equilateral triangle in fact transfers the 1/3, the 1/6, right, and the half, this ratio into higher. There you go. You have the 1/6 into higher dimensions right here. So you cannot refute it. It's there. This process is there, and phi should not be found from the square. It should be found from the equilateral triangle, and that's part of my argument.